Honorable Raksha Mantri ji, Raksha Mantri ji, Secretary Defense, all the senior officials from Government of Maharashtra, all the industry leaders, council generals, ladies and gentlemen. At the outset, I would like to thank Honorable Raksha Mantri ji for taking out time to address this meeting on defense and aerospace with the objective of make with Maharashtra. I think his presence will take forward the initiative of Government of Maharashtra to make Maharashtra a defense manufacturing hub. I would also like to thank Raksha Mantri and Secretary Defense for gracing the occasion. I think about Maharashtra, a lot many things have been showcased, have been said, have been presented. I would only like to tell you that Maharashtra has always been a leader in industries, and moreover, Maharashtra has an industrial ecosystem which is very well developed. Be it high technology, be it any type of manufacturing, in all aspects, it carries the best ecosystem in the entire country. Moreover, the environment of Maharashtra has always been business friendly. The law and order situation has always been excellent. The resolution of disputes have been always through rule of law, and now we have already set up international arbitration center at Mumbai, which is at par with the arbitration center of Singapore or Dubai. And I think the human resource which is available in Maharashtra is unmatched and unparalleled. In fact, I think the technology leaders from India which are present globally, most of them are from Maharashtra. And that makes Maharashtra a very unique destination. About the defense manufacturing, already a huge ecosystem is existing. We have 11 ordnance factories in Maharashtra, the presence of HAL at Nasik, and various industries from the private sector, Mr. Kalyani, the Reliance Industries, and many more. I mean, I'm not taking everybody's name, are aspiring to make it a defense manufacturing hub. And the government is committed to assist, to partner with the industry. So although after Make in India we started Make in Maharashtra, but in defense and aerospace we say Make with Maharashtra, because we feel that it's a industry which needs more dynamic policies. And for those dynamic policies, the government has to be partner. It has to have flexible policies. As rightly pointed out by Mr. Kalyani, that we would require absolutely different set of rules for defense manufacturing. And I think that is why we have proposed entirely a dedicated policy for defense manufacturing. Although we have a very good industrial policy, manufacturing policy, with a lot of incentives, a big framework. But we were given to understand, and rightly given to understand, that this sector requires a different set of rules. So I would also like to assure that now a policy is in place, but we are still flexible. Out of the discussions which we conducted today, we are ready to incorporate few more things into this policy, which are vital for the industries to come. And I think with the support of Honorable Raksha Mantri, the entire ecosystem which we require to build, not only for offset obligation, but for make in India and make for the world. I think we want to make Maharashtra a very dynamic and vibrant place. And as I pointed out, Pune, which has great ecosystem for high technology. I think all the type of technological innovations which have happened in India can be located in and around Pune. Nasik, I have already said about Nasik, HL has already showcased what they are doing at Nashik. Nagpur now is one of the most emerging place for defense manufacturing, with Reliance acquiring and creating one of the biggest aerospace park. Already TL, TAG is there. TAG is manufacturing beams for Dreamliner. It's also it's one of the partners of Boeing and all sort of people in the industry. So I think even Aurangabad, which has now emerged as a new auto cluster, and in the automobile industry, Aurangabad is now after Pune has become the second capital of automobile industry, and we are developing the Orange City there, which is, I think, in the Delhi Mumbai industrial corridor, the first integrated industrial smart township will come in existence in the entire India. Orange City near Aurangabad, and I think by the end of 2018, the first phase of Orange City will have a complete infrastructure in place. So we have, I think, not many things to offer. Aurangabad, or for that matter, Ahmednagar is an area where already I think we have a lot of space available for even creating all sort of testing facilities. So I think that ecosystem is also present there. Looking at all this, I think we feel that Maharashtra is a great destination, and since policy is emerging, we are totally flexible. Even after this meeting, if you feel that you want to suggest some changes in our policy, and if those changes are vital, I think we will keep our policy open for some time, and we can change and amend the policy accordingly. One thing which was pointed out by me about the availability of financial resources, especially for the defense manufacturing, and that too for the defense offset responsibility. I think that's a point which really needs to be addressed. So we'll make part of this policy creation of a fund, which our own government entity, MIDC, will create a fund with CIDB or maybe IDBI, SBI cap. And this fund will be available for defense offset responsibility. It will call it defense offset responsibility fund. It may not be a very big fund, but it can be supportive to the manufacturers in a way that the fiscal space which is available with the banks can be enhanced through this fund. And I think that will make our policy unique in the entire country, and will also show our commitment that we not only are attracting you, but we are really there to make victory. So I think as the things sir pointed out. I'm really happy that all of you have participated, and I think every single person who spoke here has thrown light on how to go forward. So taking that through, I think I would only like to conclude that we are very keen to make Maharashtra defense and aerospace hub. We are very keen to put in all the policy framework which are important for this sector, and we are looking at a very long-term perspective. So it's a perspective of a longer horizon which we are looking at, and I think with the blessings of Honorable Raksha Mantri ji and the Government of India, we would soon find all of you working towards accomplishing a dream of making Maharashtra defense and aerospace hub. Thank you.
Chief Minister, my good friend, all the officials, in fact almost everything has been said. So I take this opportunity to thank the Justice Department and Chief Minister himself for calling me here. I was just thinking, normally states offer many things, but from our side we have never thought in the concept of how you get defense there. I was thinking about why Maharashtra. Maybe I also speak Marathi, so I was slightly added attention. But I found more reasons for why Maharashtra. Few reasons which I have noted, and this may not have anything to do with defense per se. It is required for any defense setups. This state has a good law and order, and the people in Maharashtra, like Goa also, do have a respect for law, or you can treat it as fear for law. So going to Delhi, I realize that there are many areas where this fear just doesn't exist. You have to face anything that army was called in. I'll not mention anything more. But the aspect of fear for law is a very positive point which this state has. It has an additional advantage. It has 25% of ordnance factory board factories set up. There is Parrikar, or there is Pune or Amarnath. You can almost find a ordnance factory somewhere located in Maharashtra. It has a very high educational and cultural sense. The discipline which is required for defense is extremely good. It has an extremely effective, and you can point out, if someone asks me, in today's world, which is the educational focal point of India, I call it as moving. I don't count it based on number of universities or colleges, but I go by the average index IQ of people of that area. I think Pune ranks very high. Maybe there are a few more cities, but Pune, particularly Aurangabad also, is slowly developing too. And most important, it has a very disciplined, simple and proactive chief minister. The last one is equally important because policies always remain on the paper. The person who gets them implemented does not have a sense for those policies. My only hope So I was going through and being a metallurgist and material science person. When I saw the word magnetic, I was about to say that I hope it is permanent magnet, not a temporary magnet. So we have to work out policies which will make it a permanent magnetic, not a temporary, so that when the current stops, the magnet also stops. But the defense, I think it already has a defense ecosystem. It is dispersed. What you need to probably have is a big area earmarked in one or two places which will exclusively block for defense. This has two advantages. One is what you produce in defense sector, and everyone will almost agree on this, virtually cannot be used in other areas. You have to build things, build to print almost as per the requirement in very small. So defense industry also depends a lot on other small units around. The ecosystem, when we say automobile industry, the difference, I will just indicate one. I have had a lot of success of automobile industry. Today we have an auxiliary units which supply export about 12 to 30 billion US dollar items of India. But for automobile, there is one automobile which is produced per minute, maybe 2, 3, or maybe one every 5 minutes or one every half an hour, depending on the lines. But it's quite a number. When I became defense minister, I realized that there are 90 tanks on wooden planks or concrete planks stuck up in Audi factory because the radiator was found to be not efficient enough to bring the temperature down to requirement. And they were all being beaten the old style of tinsmithing and old style of fitting. Is the principle because you can't mass produce a thing. Your annual capacity itself is understood. Where you will manufacture mass scale. So the concept of production in defense sometimes is totally different from that in auto industry. But both requires skill set, both requires accuracy, and both requires a dedicated team. Success of auto industry, putting out of bed, can also be a sort of a initiation of success of defense and aerospace. If a sufficient area is earmarked by, this is I'm saying so because India is on the verge of now going in for during the current year for fighter planes to be made in India. And the current areas where fighter planes are being made is basically Bangalore for fighter plane designs in Hyderabad. So the country will definitely would recommend another place. Strategically, you can't have everything in those days. Maybe advantageous, but strategically, we feel that it should be in a different place. And I don't think better than Maharashtra, any other place could be identified per se. Make in India also is a very important initiative, obviously, because you can't totally depend on foreign source. Various reasons are there. Reasons may be restrictive regimes to difficulty in getting the component in the right. Because any country maintains its preparedness for an eventuality, not for you. It's something which is like a stepney. Like a stepney in a sense that you require only when you get a tire function. So here only when there is a tension, you require all your capabilities used. If you can't use it properly because of lack of spare or lack of support, the full exercise of maintaining the fuel why any country which wants to be a global power needs to have substantial component of its requirement and available within the country. So that it will totally depend on external sources. We are finding this more important because recent some incidents we realize that certain areas we are not still self-sufficient. Therefore, making India is very important from security concern of the country. Of course, that may not be the area of concern for most of who are here. Because their industry and their perspective will be from the industrial side. But I think there is a few more reasons why making India is important. From Indian side, its employment, its potential skill development, but also cost. I am finding that any item which we try to get into the Indian system, the cost drops substantially. Recently, we found surface surveillance radar, which is signed recently by Navy. Acceptance of necessary was granted based on estimated cost of 1,096 crores in competition among 7 Indian vendors. This is Make in India project. We have managed to get the radar supplied for 196 crores. It is almost 1/6 of the estimate. This is not the only case. More utilization in SR, MR-SAM or LR-SAM, depending on which service you are looking at. If you call it Navy, then they will call it long range. You see Army, they will call it medium. Now we have defined the range, so it's a medium range, 200 kilometers. So medium range also, when we negotiated properly and increased the Make in India component of it, the prices came down by as high as 30%. There are innovative ideas also which is now we introduced in the defense ministry. Defense ministry has started things with different perspective. Recently, an idea which was rooted is then extremely, I don't know how it develops ultimately. The concept is extremely good. About 5 years back, we went for refueling aircraft, what we call as tanker. The acquisition, RFP acquisition process was messed up. Last year, it had been closed. The country needs the refueler desperately. And to start the project again may take another 6 months because the conditions have changed, the competitors have changed. So it will take another 3 to 4 years. And there is a defense acquisition, this is one of the basic bottlenecks. Time period for testing and validation is very important. But there is innovative thinking among the Air Force because they are also going in for AWACS, which are on a platform which was very similar to the one they were thinking of acquiring for tanker. And now the concept which is developed, then why not use the same aircraft for both the work? I remember Newton's story where he called a carpenter and told him to cut 2 side holes for his door. His cat used to come inside every night by pushing the door. The door used to remain open and he felt the cold breeze. So he didn't want to get up every night. So he called carpenter and told him to have a small cut in the door so that he can lock the door and they can come in through that hole. He told the carpenter that you have a hole of this size, say 6 inch by 6 inch, and I have a hole of 3 inch by 3 inch. So carpenter asked him why 2 holes. He said the cat has small kitten. And the 2 holes are my one for the big one and one for the small one. Now such an intelligent scientist with some 20-22% extra cost for both purposes. So innovative thinking, for the first time coming in defense, I was also quite happy with the thinking. I think this is slowly resulting into a different kind of scenario, making India. So recent article which talked about unmaking India, making India. But I think the voter probably got old data. He doesn't know that ordnance factory roads have already crossed 11,000 crores. They are crossing 50,000 crores this time. Their rejection rates have come down. Defense PSUs are increasing at a rate of 50%. It will be surprise to everyone to know that the older practice with HAL was to kill in the month of March. And the aircraft will agree with me. I can tell it now. The aircraft will actually fly in June, July. That means you bill it for the annual turnover in the month of March. And the Air Force could take the deliveries in June or July. It's a very extremely poor practice, which technically aircraft was there but not tested, taken trial of. I gave them 2 years to adjust themselves to correct position. This year, all aircraft which are being delivered will fly before the coast. This is the assurance I get from the chairman. So they have actually delivered more aircraft in the last 2 years than what they have been. They are getting credit. Why I am saying this is, this also, turnover is increasing at a rate of 10-20%. So defense PSUs are also delivering. At the same time, we want private sector, because the flexibility with the private sector is much more than any PSU can generate. While we are pushing for MSMEs to have more participation, there are limitations to what a government can do. Ultimately, you will have to go through all the fires and everything which any person has to face. So there has to be objectivity, there has to be equal opportunity to everyone, all these aspects are there. But I think in view of the defense requirement, those parameters can reduce the number of participants. Those participants who are found to be, a lot of people tell me ISRO example. I get emails from my colleagues, many from IITs, say, telling me that why don't you replicate ISRO model? Very good model. But one major difference is ISRO is the end user. Defense Ministry is not the end user. My end user is Army, Air Force, Navy, Coast Guard. And if end user, sometimes I have seen in many cases, the goal was shifting. As you develop something, suddenly they say, no, we don't want this capacity, you better go to the. So now we are actually stabilizing the end user to a concept that you can't go changing the abilities. But I can tell you this much, all your concerns have been noted. I welcome the initiative by Maharashtra government about fund for medium and small scale units. It can go a long way in supporting them. In fact, the structure of defense ministry is such that I don't think, unless someone has a tough scheme, they can survive with a small amount of fund. Let me be very frank, I have been trying to improve the situation. It has improved a bit, but it will take much more time to be really flexible. We have everywhere people who doesn't understand all these aspects operating in a small person. Because I see files. What I see, what is written by a clerk is repeated by every higher up, right up to the secretary level or division. You should not take it personally. The same thing is repeated virtually. I have a habit of reading files. So when I read, read, I felt that if I read something which is down the line 3 steps, word to word, things are repeated, including sometimes mistakes. I have a habit of marking the mistakes. So basically, sometimes these are very long habits which will slowly change with the mindset, slowly change. I think they are definitely changing and becoming positive. I assure all the industry at the Minister of Maharashtra that Make with Maharashtra would be a big success if they think of some innovative ideas like funding where you can always and not restrict it to offset only. Allow it to, in fact, I was discussing this I told him that we will give you the exact wording to be used in the policy because it should be there for a small scale which is also dealing with Army, Air Force or Navy or PSU. Because ultimately what you are looking for is an assured order for you so that you can function. We are, from our side, are taking some initiative like Ordnance Factory Board, defense procurement, procurement manual is in final stage, where we are thinking of drastically reducing performance bank guarantee. I found a very strange thing. They asked for performance bank guarantee even for steel plate for 2 years. The thing all the fellows asked him, do you expect the steel to automatically change its composition in the next 2 years? So if you are a supplier of plate of a particular standard, unless you heat it or you cut it or you do something on it, the composition, chemical composition and property will remain the same. Other than the rust, why do you require performance bank guarantee for it? So we have come to the conclusion that once it is supplied with the appropriate certification, the performance bank guarantee should be returned in 30 days. Now this will actually save money for OS. Because they will get a cheaper rate. Why it should be 10%? These are the questions no one was able to answer. I am supplying a machine to you. I am risking my legal liability does not stop if I give you warranty of 2 years. So we are coming to conclusion that performance bank guarantee should be reduced. Reduced to substantial levels, initial to 5%, but for a small scale, maybe 2%. This is the proposal. So a lot of thinking is coming also from the Defense Ministry itself. They are realizing that these are the bottleneck points, but it takes time. In government machinery, a lot of people ask me why strategic partner is not here. I think I want everyone on the board. Slowly, I'm very close to getting everyone on the board. Maybe this month we'll be able to finalize it. With it, a lot of major projects also should get initiated. We will keep in touch and ask your university secretary to send me a copy so that I can give my some comment on it. It's a good policy, but it may add some spice. However good the dish is, if you don't add the salt, the taste, you can't eat it. It may be nutrient. It may have all the energy, calorific value is very good. If you test it in chemical lab, you will say that this is class 1. But don't add salt to it. No one will eat it. So, adding salt and pepper, I can do better. Thank you so much. Thank you.
आपल्याला सर्वांनाच कल्पना आहे की देशामध्ये डिफेन्स आणि एरोस्पेस एक फार मोठी इमर्जिंग अशा प्रकारची एक इंडस्ट्री आहे आणि विशेषतः माननीय पंतप्रधान महोदयांनी मेक इन इंडिया हे सुरू केल्यानंतर डिफेन्स सेक्टरमध्ये खूप मोठ्या प्रमाणात इन्व्हेस्टमेंट आणि कॅपॅबिलिटीज तयार व्हायला सुरुवात झालेली आहे. सन्माननीय रक्षा मंत्र्यांनी एक अतिशय डायनामिक अशा प्रकारची पॉलिसी तयार केल्यामुळे जगातले सगळे डिफेन्स आणि एरोस्पेस मधले जे इंडस्ट्री लीडर्स आहेत ते सगळे भारतामध्ये येऊ पाहत आहेत. त्यामुळे या सर्वांना एक एकत्रित करून महाराष्ट्रामध्ये डिफेन्स आणि एरोस्पेस करता एक इकोसिस्टीम उभी करावी आणि महाराष्ट्राला त्याचे एक केंद्र बनवावं या दृष्टीने आज आम्ही सेमिनार घेतला होता, ज्याच्यामध्ये डिफेन्स अँड एरोस्पेस मेक विथ महाराष्ट्र अशा प्रकारचा कॉन्सेप्ट आजच्या सेमिनारचा होता. जगातले अनेक प्रमुख मॅन्युफॅक्चरर्स हे त्या ठिकाणी आले होते. त्यांच्यासमोर महाराष्ट्राची डिफेन्स अँड एरोस्पेस मॅन्युफॅक्चरिंग पॉलिसी ही आम्ही आज प्रेझेंट केली आहे. बहुधा मी जर चुकत नसेल तर महाराष्ट्र पहिलं राज्य आहे की ज्यांनी राज्य म्हणून डिफेन्स आणि एरोस्पेसची पॉलिसी तयार केलेली आहे. एक अतिशय डायनामिक अशा प्रकारची पॉलिसी तयार करून त्यातनं या इंडस्ट्रीच्या जे काही रिक्वायरमेंट्स आहेत या वेगळ्या आहेत, त्यामुळे त्या वेगळ्या रिक्वायरमेंट्स केटर करण्याच्या दृष्टीनं ही एक सेपरेट पॉलिसी तयार केली आहे, ज्यात काही इन्सेंटिव्ह आहेत, त्यांच्या रिक्वायरमेंट्स प्रमाणे फ्लेक्झिबिलिटी आहे. आणि आज ते सगळं मांडल्यानंतर एक अजून महाराष्ट्र तर्फे आम्ही घोषणा केली आहे की साधारणपणे डिफेन्स मॅन्युफॅक्चरिंग मध्ये जी काही एक फिस्कल स्पेस बँकांची लागते, तर त्याच्यामध्ये काही अडचणी अशा आहेत की हे लॉंग टर्म मॅन्युफॅक्चरिंग असतं, त्यामुळे याला लॉंग टर्म फायनान्स लागतो आणि म्हणून आता तेवढ्या मोठ्या प्रमाणात ती स्पेस अवेलेबल होत नाही. आणि म्हणून त्याला एक सपोर्ट म्हणून महाराष्ट्राने असा निर्णय केलाय की आम्ही महाराष्ट्राचा एक फंड हा तयार करतो, ज्याच्यामध्ये MIDC आणि CDB असतील किंवा इतर फायनान्शियल इन्स्टिट्यूशनशी बोलणं चाललंय, SBI कॅपशी बोलणं चाललंय, IDBIशी बोलणं चाललंय. अशांच्या माध्यमातून जवळजवळ 1000 कोटी रुपयाचा एक फंड आम्ही कॉन्स्टिट्यूट करतो की जो फंड हा मोठ्या प्रमाणात या मॅन्युफॅक्चरिंग करणारे जे काही इंडस्ट्रीज आहेत यांना एक कॅपिटल म्हणून त्याच्यामध्ये एक सप्लिमेंट करणार अशा प्रकारचा हा फंड त्याच्यामध्ये असणार आहे. अनेक इतर इन्सेंटिव्ह देखील आम्ही त्या माध्यमातून देतो. आणि विशेषतः आम्ही साधारणपणे ज्या शोकेस केला आहे त्याच्यामध्ये पुणे, अहमदनगर, औरंगाबाद, नाशिक आणि नागपूर या ज्या काही आमच्या कॅपेबिलिटीज आहेत या ठिकाणी ऑलरेडी डिफेन्स कॅपेबिलिटीज मध्ये प्रायव्हेट सेक्टर देखील काम करत आहे. आणि माननीय रक्षा मंत्री महोदयांनी आज सांगितलं की देशाची जी काही ऑर्डनन्स फॅक्टरीची कॅपॅसिटी आहे, कॅपेबिलिटी आहे, त्यातली 25% महाराष्ट्रात आहे. 11 ऑर्डनन्स फॅक्टरीज या महाराष्ट्रात आहे. त्यामुळे एक मोठी इकोसिस्टीम महाराष्ट्रात ऑलरेडी प्रेझेंट आहे. HAL पुण्यामध्ये असेल किंवा आज नागपूरमध्ये जी काही एरोस्पेस इंडस्ट्री सुरू होते, औरंगाबादला आता एक मोठा आपण ऑरिक सिटी तयार करतोय, पुण्यामध्ये तर एंटायर इकोसिस्टीम आहे, त्या ठिकाणी वेगवेगळे इंडस्ट्रीज आज कामच करतायत. तर याचा सगळ्याचा एक उपयोग करून हे मोठे क्लस्टर्स तयार झाले पाहिजेत आणि त्यातनं डिफेन्स मॅन्युफॅक्चरिंग हे महाराष्ट्रामध्ये याच्यात आलं पाहिजे. आमच्या पॉलिसीमध्ये आम्ही असा प्रयत्न करतोय की जवळजवळ मोठ्या प्रमाणात यातनं इन्व्हेस्टमेंट व्हावी आणि 1 लाख रोजगार देखील यातनं तयार व्हावा अशा प्रकारचा एम या पॉलिसीमध्ये आम्ही ठेवलेला आहे. माननीय रक्षा मंत्री महोदयांनी देखील खूप चांगले इनपुट्स तयार केले आहेत आणि त्यांनी असं मला या ठिकाणी गाईड केलंय की या पॉलिसीमध्ये त्यांच्या अनुभवातनं काय थोडे बदल असले पाहिजेत ते देखील ते सुचवणार आहेत की ज्यातनं ती पॉलिसी अधिक अट्रॅक्टिव्ह होईल. इंडस्ट्रीज कडनं देखील काही सूचना आल्या त्याही आम्ही त्याच्यामध्ये इन्कॉर्पोरेट करू आणि ओव्हरऑल इंडस्ट्रीजनी महाराष्ट्रामध्ये इन्व्हेस्ट करण्याकरता पॉझिटिव्ह अशा प्रकारचा आउटलुक त्याच्यामध्ये दाखवलेला आहे. मला असं वाटतं की एक नवीन एक स्टेप आम्ही या निमित्ताने घेऊ शकतो.